To my younger brothers, I'm your elder brother Kiran Roy. So today I'll present one important topic for you. Why do some women defame men after their breakup? Why is the gossip culture so that they feel the need to defame the men whom they loved at the first place, with whom they shared such good times at one point in time? Now, what has happened suddenly that they have to defame that man who meant the world to her at one point in time? So I'll try to explain that to the best of my capabilities with my understanding of psychology as per my experience. So if you find any value, do consider giving a super thanks. And I have started my Be Millionaire course. I would highly recommend you join that course because my videos have already started. This course is going to be the real game changer. Trust me. The reason being, whatever I say, there is a reason. The reason being, I have spent 26 years in the business field. I'm ranked number one by India Today magazine in the top 10 list of off the beaten track entrepreneurs from India. You can just type Kiran Roy Aspire, Aspire, in Google. You will get that article in which you will yourself see that I'm ranked number one in my field in the top 10 list of off the beaten track entrepreneurs from India. Not just that, I'm given the title Rockstar Entrepreneur by Your Story. You just have to type Kiran Roy Rockstar in Google. You will get that article. Everything you will see about me. And in general, also, you can just type Kiran Roy Guitar in Google. You will get complete details about my background. So, there's also a wiki page, which I did not create, somebody else had created. There's also a wiki page in Google that also has like roughly lots of information about me. So, if you get any benefit from me, as I said, you can drop a super thanks. You can join the Be Millionaire course. And if you wish to book a 1:1 with me, if you are in some problem which my videos are not solving, you can book a 1:1 with me by DMing me in Instagram. My Instagram handle is untamed forever numeric 6. There my manager will get back to you with all the details. So, and if you wish to give any direct benefit to me, because whatever proceeds I am earning from all of my YouTube earnings are completely donated to the orphan kids of the Chembers Children's Home, because I have monetized only my guitar training. From there, I make my money. YouTube is not for money making. YouTube is for giving back to the society, which has given me lots of name, fame, even riches. I have got lots through my music, and my music is enough to sustain me for the rest of my life. So, this I am doing out of my love for humanity, because humanity is my only religion. I don't believe in any man made religion or gods or anything. I'm a staunch atheist. Humanity is my only religion. So, this channel is a tribute to my belief in humanity. So, from this, I don't charge. Whatever money we make, it is distributed amongst my managers. There are 3 managers who manage me, and the rest goes to the orphan kids. So whatever but yeah, in spite of that, if you still want to do something which will benefit me monetarily, you can drop a 5-star rating in my guitar academy. You can just type Kiran Roy, Kiran Roy's guitar studio. That is where I personally teach. Guitar hall is where my teachers train. Both are mine only. Both are owned by me. But Kiran Roy's guitar studio is where I personally teach. So if you wish to give direct benefit to me, if you drop a 5-star rating, without paying a single rupee, you are passing me that benefit which I can get from others. So definitely do consider doing that if you get any value from me. If you don't get any value from me, then the need does not arise. Coming to my first point of why do some women defame the man after a breakup. My first point is bruised ego after a breakup, or after like pathetic, like many things can go wrong in a relationship. So the first point is their ego gets very badly bruised. It's a matter of ego now. Though they had spent such a good time together at one during their better times, they had spent such good times together. But when they had a ugly breakup, or a normal breakup for that matter, they don't tend to get those good things in their mind that time. That time it's all about getting revenge. That time it's all about an ego game. It's about an ego clash. And women, it's like no secret, they have a pretty fragile ego, I would say. I wouldn't say very big stone like ego, I wouldn't say that, but they do have a very fragile ego. It can shatter at the drop of a hat. like a glass. Even if you just touch it with a hammer, boom, the entire glass will break into shards. So that is how their ego is. So after a breakup, they take it upon themselves. I mean, it's they take it upon their ego basically. They think that this breakup has caused a huge deal of harm to her ego. So no girl can tolerate their ego getting down. And breakup is equivalent to their ego getting down. So since they cannot tolerate this, they resort to the next best available thing, which is defaming that person. So you can get that connection since their ego has been shattered now due to that breakup, due to that anything, like whatever, due to whatever reason they are not together now, due to whatever reason she's an ex now of that person whom she's defaming. So the next best alternative now, because that ego is broken, now to make that ego, to give that ego, that broken ego, some respite, what good they can do, I mean, what best alternative they have is defaming that ex of hers by needless slander, by talking bad things about him behind his back, by writing all sorts of bullshit on social media, by telling their common friends about his misdeeds. And on many occasions, on more than 10 occasions, I have seen they are made up, they are lies. On many occasions, I'm not saying all, but on majority of the occasions, I've seen certain points were made up because I have counseled such people. I've counseled both the people, like both the parties, both the lady, both the men, and from both of them I came to know, I've got their, because see, when I'm counseling, when I'm giving therapy to some lady, they speak their heart out, including whatever wrong they have done. So on more than like 100 occasions, they confessed, they did confess that she did make up bad stories to malign his image in public, that she indulged in slander, she did indulge in slanderous behavior, which was not the truth, which she had made up. So, this is her easiest way to mend her fragile ego, which has been shattered by that breakup. Getting that connection of broken ego and defaming somebody. So, my first point is right in front of you. It's because of their fragile ego, basically. The next point is the need to preserve social status and self image. So, when a couple are going great guns, they are the talk of the town. They post their pictures together on Instagram. They go to each other's house. They are like so happy together. They make it public because whenever a couple are very much in love, they love to flaunt their love. Indians somehow have this habit. They want to show off because everybody are not in a happy relationship, which is common knowledge. So when somebody is going through a good time in their relationship, they try to flaunt it to the society. They try to flaunt it to the world. They are so happy because it is very much similar to showing off. In Delhi, especially because I've personally been to Delhi. I've been to every part of the country, but I'm making special mention of Delhi because it's only in Delhi, Haryana, places around in that vicinity. There, people indulge in big time in blatant. So in places like Delhi, Haryana, people indulge in a vulgar display of show off in the form of their, I mean, they want to show off their wealth basically. So, like the same theory, even these couples in question, they always try to show off how happy they are, how good they look together, how they are like they think in their own mind that they are the talk of the town. They are always self obsessed basically. So when they have that breakup now, finally, that time these ladies, they think that everybody is just talking about her, how she is responsible, how she incited that breakup. Everybody are, in reality, everybody are busy in their own work. Nobody has the time to talk about their breakup or to think about their breakup. Who cares, man? India is a country where people are like struggling to make ends meet. They are struggling in paying their EMIs. They're struggling in their jobs. From where will they have time to think about somebody else's breakup, man? But these ladies in question, they think that everybody is completely like thinking about her and everybody is giving her bad words for the breakup. So this is basically a manipulation tactic. They will try to deflect that hurt, that perceived bad words which nobody is giving her at the first place, but she thinks people are now paying for her blood. So she tries to deflect that by defaming that man. In India, the number one point which you might have heard is he was a psycho. In all cases that I have seen, ladies have this trademark dialogue that he was a psycho after every breakup. Till date, I did not understand if he was a psycho. How did you spend 10 years with him? How did you spend 7 years with him? How did you spend 3 years with him? If had he been a psycho, it took you bloody 3 years to know that he was a psycho, and you lived under the same room, you slept under the same bed with a psycho for 10 years. Come on, I cannot buy that. Nobody can spend 10 years with a psycho. So it is completely clear in front of you that they are just indulging in manipulation tactics. They are indulging in gaslighting. They are experts in that. Who can take it away from them? They are like experts in this phenomenon. So they will put all the blame on that guy by defaming that man. So this is the second biggest reason which I have seen why they indulge, why they defame their ex after a breakup. That is to take away the bad words. Because see, when they are indulging in these cringeworthy activities like display of affection, display of the relationship, that time also like majority of the people find it cringeworthy only. But still she thinks that people are liking it. Same way after the breakup, she thinks people are now not liking it. People are now blaming me. So it's basically their defense mechanism bordering into manipulation tactics that she tries to defame that ex by putting all the blame on him so that she gets a clean chit. It's nothing but it's completely in her mind, if you ask me. In reality, there exists nothing like like very much similar to schizophrenia. It's her illusions basically. She's having illusions. She's thinking that the entire world is after her, entire world is baying for her blood. When in reality, nobody has the time for that. That's the truth. The next point why I have seen women indulging in this activity is due to emotional trauma and immaturity basically, because I have seen lots of cases, one is to one real life cases, in which I have seen one pattern that majority of the women who indulge in this sort of activity are either going through an emotional trauma or and I wouldn't say or and it is and along with coupled with big time immaturity. They have an immature mind, because suppose if something went wrong, what should be a mature way to get over it? You wish them all the best, you get on with your life. That's how ideally things should be. Like you spent some quality time together, right? That's why you were a couple. That's why you broke up. Why? Why did you break up? Because you were together at one point, right? And when you were together, definitely you were not at loggerheads with each other. You guys were definitely in good terms. So if you ask me, if you ask me, it should be an amicable separation. After the breakup, no need to maintain any contact. I myself say in my videos, don't even, go completely no contact. I myself say that. But in any of my videos, have you ever seen me saying that you have to defame them, you have to like completely annihilate them, you have to destroy their image? Have I ever said that you have to do anything of that sort? No, in all my videos I've said only one thing: just completely remove them from your life and focus on your life, focus on your purpose, focus on your goals, build up your body. This is all you have to do. This is what I've been saying ever since I came in YouTube. And never ever did I say that you have to defame somebody, you have to indulge in slander. You never have to do that. But when somebody is doing it, what does it spell? Immaturity. Because no mature person will indulge in slanderous behavior, that too with a person who meant the world to him or her at the first place. I personally don't buy this argument that you are hurt and you are indulging in defaming him. No ways. Because at one point you guys were together, that man meant the world to her, and now just that you have broken up, you have such a shallow ego that you are defaming him. That doesn't make sense to me. So if you ask me, that's due to personal trauma, personal emotional trauma of some sort, which is coming out now because she has been there before. Point to be noted, this thing comes in most of my cases in which I have seen a woman indulging in slanderous behavior after a breakup is when they've had similar experiences before as well. This was not her first breakup. She had like around 4 to 5 similar breakups in the past. That is when they again try to take revenge by defaming their partners. And that is one cause, and the other is sheer immaturity, which I have already told you. If a person is immature, she will definitely waste her energy in defaming the other person, wherein a real, true, mature lady would just let bygones be bygones and she will focus on her life. That is how ideally that should be. But no, because I had seen, I'll give you one small example. Bipasha Basu, she was dating John Abraham at one point, because now I've completely stopped watching Bollywood. But this I'm seeing around, like I think this was around 20 years ago when Bipasha and John were together. So they had a breakup. After the breakup, Bipasha Basu was in all the interviews, she was only trying to defame John Abraham. That he did this, he cheated on me. I was putting all my focus on him. Now, after the breakup, she was saying, now it's time for me. Now, she started gymming and all. She became a fitness diva. So that time, whenever people used to ask her questions regarding her fitness, she would only answer one same thing, that I put my everything into that relationship. He did not care. So now I'm only putting all the care on me. In other words, she was behaving in that same category which I just said, immature. Immature in every small, and John Abraham was not even bothered. In none of his interviews, he spoke anything bad regarding that lady. But in every interview of hers, Bipasha Basu was constantly indulging in slanderous behavior regarding John Abraham. So she is the perfect example of what I'm trying to say. It's emotional trauma coupled with immaturity, big time. Now, my next point is, this is used, defaming the partner. This thing is used as a weapon to gain sympathy. So, as I was talking about Bipasha Basu in my last point, this was the perfect case. She was weaponizing this thing. She was weaponizing defaming John Abraham was her weapon, basically, to gain sympathy. That was exactly what she was trying to do, because I had studied that case, because I was a psychology student. I had started my psychology by that time only. So she became my perfect case study regarding this. That's why I'm using it so many years, because now she's married to somebody else. She's even a mother now, I guess. But that time she was young and she was completely immature. So she was trying to gain sympathy by this act. So this is my another, this point is all about sympathy. They defame their ex in order to gain sympathy out of it. Because now, after that breakup, if that was like a very strong relationship and still they had this breakup, then they are now completely bruised. They're emotionally bruised. And when somebody is emotionally bruised, all they, what acts like a lotion, what acts like an ointment, it is sympathy. If somebody says some good words to you, feel good, right? Suppose if you're having fever, very high fever, and whenever your mom used to come and say, oh my son, how are you feeling, that used to work like that emotional ointment, didn't it? So that same thing they feel, that if they say all these words, she will get that emotional sympathy, which will act as which will act like that ointment, basically emotional ointment, basically. So that is completely a psychological thing, but this is completely uncalled for, because I personally believe you should have that much emotional intelligence to handle breakups, to handle pains. Even I have had breakups. In fact, I must be holding some sort of a record for the number of breakups I have had. But it never bothered me, to be very frank. It never bothered me. So how much ever strong the relationship was, like I completely went on with my life immediately. I never sat and cried. But these ladies, they sit and cry, they try to gain sympathy. I don't understand why they have to do all of this. They should just keep their lips shut and focus on their life, on focus on bettering their quality of life. That's all it takes. But no, they will seek sympathy. These are all basically manipulation tactics. These are all manipulation tactics, like gaining sympathy, using bad words to gain sympathy. What is this? This is like pathetic behavior, I would say. My next point is the pressure to not appear as the one who got dumped. This is a classic case which I've seen in majority, why majority, in all of the ladies. After a breakup, they have they somehow have this pressure to not appear that they got dumped. They always want to show that they were the ones who dumped him. Even in reality, if they were the ones who got dumped, they will never show that. I was talking about that John and Bipasha case, right? So in reality, because that time I had Bollywood connections, because I was a big part of Bollywood. In fact, I had played guitars for one of their movies as well, John and I wouldn't like to mention the movie name, but I had worked in their movies, so that's why I know quite a bit about them, and that's why I was mentioning their example. So in that case also, why they had that breakup? Because John had dumped her, because she had She had spent some intimate times with some footballer. I don't recollect the footballer's name, but you can Google it. That was like many years before. But you can Google it. She had clicked some intimate poses, some intimate pictures with some famous footballer. So that did not go down very well with John Abraham because he has a middle class thinking. He comes from a middle class family, so he had middle class sensibilities. So when Bipasha Basu was very very clingy with that football player, he did not like it one bit. But so he was the one who initiated the breakup, as in trouble brewed, and they had a breakup. So it was John who initiated that breakup, not Bipasha. But now why immediately after that she indulged in this kind of behavior, wherein every part of media she was constantly crying hoarse that John did this, John Abraham did that. I spent so much time for him, and what she did and what he did, he completely betrayed me. This that, but why was she doing this? Because she was trying to justify, I mean, she was trying to show the whole world that it was not she who got dumped. She was trying to say that it was him whom I dumped. Because you can understand the picture what I'm trying to say. It was she who indulged in those intimate pictures with that footballer. It was she who was at fault. It was not John. But now she knows that she was at fault. So paint to completely paint a good picture about herself, she was like damaging the reputation of John Abraham. So getting the connection, they just try to show, because it's a matter of their ego now, and they are all public figures. So their ego, I mean, their image is very much important. So to show the world that it was not she who got dumped, she was indulging in this kind of gaslighting and in this sort of like slanderous behavior. So main thing is not to take the blame, as in not to show the world that I got dumped due to my actions. I dumped him. That is their main agenda. My next point is playing the victim garners more support in the society. How many of you have seen this happening? Ladies always are playing the victim card. How many of have seen this? I'm sure everybody, all of you know how good they are at playing the victim card. Why do they play the victim card? Because they very well know that society will garner lots of support if they play the victim card. You can take the classic case of that Chandrika Dixit Vada Pav girl. What not she was doing. She was playing the victim card. She was even scolded. I was seeing one clip in Instagram wherein even Anil Kapoor had scolded him in the Big Boss show that why do you always play the victim card? Why are only you the victim? That's exactly what she was doing in her earlier, because in the reels only I used to see that she's fighting with when she had that card, she was fighting with everybody. She was just calling herself as the victim when she herself was the one who was doing an illegal activity by selling vada pav on the roadside. But she was playing that victim card, that only I am the victim. Rest everybody is at fault. Only they are making me the victim. So these ladies, by default, they are aware that if I play the victim card, I will be getting lots of support from the society. So this is one classic case why all these ladies, they defame that person so as to show them that I am the victim. Because if she can convey that message that I am the victim, she will be getting lots of support out of it. Nobody will blame her. So this is one common tactic. So if you ask me to sum it up in one word, it's the victim card mentality which they are playing when they constantly abuse or defame their ex. Next point is it is seen as a form of emotional payback. So now after a breakup, now imagine they have spent some time together, some years together. They had forged a close bond with each other. Now, when they had a breakup, it's very painful for everybody. It is a painful process. No two ways about it. I can understand. I agree that it is a painful process. So, when they have a breakup, they are shattered. They are emotionally low. So, when they are feeling very bad, now they have lots of angst, lots of guilt, lots of hurt in their soul, in their psyche. So whenever they now try to defame their ex, they are indulging in a form of emotional payback. So she is trying to indulge in emotional payback by doing so. She is getting some sort of relief because, as I said, she is now undergoing through lots of hurt, pain, frustration, anger, aggression. So when she is defaming that person, it's a very, very much like it is, they are getting a very good outlet basically for their emotional payback. So this is her way of letting out that frustration basically. So she feels good, though it is a temporary process. This is a negative process. This is not the right way. As I told you many times in the course of this video, this is not the right approach. The right approach is you get on with your life. Start focusing on yourself, building yourself. This applies to both boys and girls. But they don't have that intellect. They don't have that emotional intelligence to think on these terms. So they indulge in this behavior. So this is a complete case of emotional completely. They are just trying to vent it out, basically. My next point is a very important point. It is society's bias against men. Now, in the Indian society, if a woman says anything against a man, that is taken for granted, as in whatever she said is the gospel truth. It cannot, nobody can change that. And the ladies are completely aware of that. They know that if I say something without any proof, without any evidence, he will be declared as guilty. And ladies are very much aware of this. So this is a very malicious activity, I would say, because they are using the loopholes in the law, in the society system as a whole. They are aware of these loopholes because all they have to do is cry horse, and everybody will automatically paint that man as the villain. And women are completely aware of it. That's why they always say that I can like ruin you. Why? They know that they have that, they're aware of that loophole in the Indian society. That all they have to do is raise an accusation at that man and everybody will blindly believe that lady. So they take full advantage of this loophole. This is my point. So now you will ask me what should we do? Men will ask me. So never react emotionally is what I would say. Because she is reacting with emotions. No two ways about it. Women, like even in normal life, I told you on many of my videos, they operate with emotions. They never use logic. They use logic just to justify their bad behavior. They do use their logic, but only to justify their bad actions. But when they function, they never function with logic. So when they are doing that, I would suggest my brothers, you don't have to react with emotions. You have to maintain silence, but collect evidence. Collect evidence of whatever she is doing, because that might prove handy to you if things turn bad. If things turn for the worse, then you will need these evidences. So don't just directly block it. I mean, for as long as it's coming, as long as that slander, the bad messages, the bad things which she is saying on social media everywhere, you don't need to retaliate or keep your picture. But you have to collect that evidence, because if she goes one step ahead and if she lodges a police complaint against you or something, that time that will come handy, because that has happened in one of my cases. I'll make a separate video to explain what had happened, because otherwise this video will become very long. But it did happen with one or two of my 1:1, which I will explain you if you ask me on the comments. So things can turn bad. So for that purpose, always maintain the evidence for some time at least, even if not permanently, but until this thing dies down. Because when they are now in a bad state of mind, I mean, as it is, they don't use logic. So suppose if they go and complain to the police, you should have some protection. So you can easily show the police, see, she has been indulging in this since a long time. Now she's complaining about me, but she has been indulging in this slander since such a long time. If you show that proof, it will at least bring you some respect, and it will help in convincing the police that it's she who is doing all this and you are not at fault. So I would recommend maintain a dignified silence, collect proof, and you just focus on your work. You don't need to reply, because when dogs are barking, what will you do? Just yesterday, you might have seen one lady had made one video on me, on Jaggi Bhai, on Professor. So what happened? Did we retaliate? Did we react? No, we don't do. We don't have time. When dogs are barking at lion, the lion does not bark. The lion does not roar at them, do they? So you don't have to roar back. Let them do their work. The ladies are, you very well, you are aware what they are capable of. So let them do. No. Now that I am aware, you are aware, everybody is aware. You don't have to retaliate. Just let them do. Let them die out naturally, because the voice, everything that will die out. If you feed it that is what they want. They want your reaction. If you don't give them the reaction only, what will they do? They won't have anything to do with you. You're getting my point. So hope I've answered each and every query of yours. If you have any further queries, feel free to comment. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.